Today, we're going to another dimension. And I want us to listen attentively. It's going to be very simple, but it's something that every one of us will have to learn something so that we can adjust. The message today I've tagged, discover the sex that fits you. That means it's not one size fits all. And that means the sex that is appropriate for yesterday may not be appropriate for today. And if you do not journey, I would explain this in a way that you can understand. Many of us marry our spouses maybe when things are not rosy. Or it could be the other way around. When you married your husband, maybe you're a graduate, and the husband is maybe school sat holder or OND, or you were working in a bank and your husband is probably a lecturer and you were earning more. And I'm talking to women now, and you had to supplement and augment everything. You have to sit down and plan, what are we going to eat tomorrow, and then manage it and split it. But now, maybe your husband got an appointment in UNO, is now earning money in dollars. You still want the man to still act with you the way it used to be 10 years ago. Tell your neighbor, grow up. Some of the reasons we have conflict is because we do not grow with our marriage the way our spouse grows. And that's the same thing that happens to our sex life. When you marry newly, even if you're not able to pay your house rent, when your husband comes to the room, and your wife, just shows up, you can have sex anyhow. But as the children come in, different, issues of life set in, things begin to change. And if you don't change as those things change, you will have problems. So that is the foundation for this topic. Discover the sex that fits you. So you practice sex one way before your children are born. Then children make a difference. And our sexual habit must reflect that. If you're believing God for the fruit of the womb, the first 2 years of your marriage, you'll be, oh, thank God, at least nobody to disturb us. But by the third year, when people are looking at your stomach and they're asking, anxiety sets in. And the sex becomes a chore rather than what you look for excitement. The only function becomes for procreation and nothing more. But sex is more than procreation. Can I hear amen? As your children grow, the time and energies you have for one another, they are revised. And that's where the men miss it. They still want the woman to be as she was before the children. When the children come in, the woman, because of her nurturing nature, diverts majority of our attention to making the children do well. And then the man starts feeling neglected. But like what my husband said earlier, if the men get domesticated and you share the responsibility of nurturing your children and keeping your home together, you will know at what point we've gone too far. But because that role is abdicated to the women, men feel neglected. Somebody say with me, discover your sex pattern. I said, someday you'll be alone again. And as the children grow, today we're trying to pay school fees, you're trying to pay house rent, but a time will come when all school fees would have been paid. when that house would have been built. And there will be no need to fight those fights again. That's when you see a 60-year-old, tongue-talking, heavenly bound man having an affair. And you wonder what happened. I thought he is a Christian because somewhere along the line, the couple did not grow with their sex pattern. If you make love in the morning, usually men are very strong early in the morning. But if you have a child that's cried all night, maybe a colicky baby, and you didn't sleep all night, it may not be possible to do anything early in the morning. Then change the system. Work out something. When you come home early, change the diaper with your wife. Do something. Put the baby to sleep early. In fact, cradle the baby or do something. And then you can work something more. I was counseling someone that said, I had really serious tear at my first delivery. And up till now, I'm afraid to sleep with my husband. And I said, that's a very real thing. When that happens, you sit down and talk about it. Honey, I'm scared. Because something just tells me that thing is going to tear again. Then some things can come to the rescue. Go and get a lubricant. There's a sterilized one called KY jelly. Everywhere we go, it is our travel companion. Don't say, I told you. You understand? My toiletry bag is always there. Even though when we are fasting, I carry it. Because somewhere along the line, something may happen. This is a secret. Don't tell anybody. So, before, we didn't need it. But as our sex pattern changed, we needed it. Because you are not always ready, time T, moment O, occasion O, place P. So in case, you understand what I'm saying? Everywhere you go how? Ready. Moods can change. Like, you don't make things so hard as if the man that married you is not your enemy. That woman is not the witch. She's actually the best of the girls. That's why you chose her. So let's go back to the basic. So the fact that you are fighting today does not mean that fight will not end. Every good people also fights. Is it because they are not fighting outside? Well, so get ready. Tell your neighbor, get ready. The lifestyle changes force changes in your sexuality. But you can keep remaking your loving sexual expression to fit new circumstances. When you were slim, your husband can carry you, take you to the bathtub, stroke you. But now that you are horrible, you have moved from size 12 to something like 18, 20. If the man tries to carry you again, I'm afraid. So you may not be able to do all those moves. The man would not carry you, he would just push you gently. You understand? So the man needs to also change the style, And then just, stroke. You understand? Lift me up. You just saying, hold me close. So everything must change. The style also must change. The mystery and joy of lovemaking is that it is a marital task that need never be completely done. It cannot be finished forever. It should be done again and again and again, always with brave new results. That's why humanly we improve. So your sex life must also do what? Improve. I'm going to really challenge the women here today to stop making men feel that they are more sexually active than we are. I studied biology. I read books on psychology. I listened to other marriage counselors, and I found out that is a myth that needs to be debunked. Men are not more sexually active than women. The only difference is what turns on a woman is different from what turns on a man. If the men today can go home with that equipment, what is it that turns my wife on? A woman, because you are the one that ejaculates. When you ejaculate, you need a time to recoup. A woman does not need any time to recoup. You can go on. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to do it, you can do what? Do it. And so much. But because we've been hurt by our husbands, because we feel unappreciated, because we feel the share of the domestic work is over-tilted to us, we resent them. But today that will change. Can I hear amen? Men, you can tie the apron. You can cook. You can clean in the house. If you try it, you go just wake up in the morning by 5 a.m. before your wife woke up. You have put water to boil. You have done something. The woman will just be wondering, is everything okay? And make sure that your boxers is tight so that there is no sign that anything is happening in that direction. And just say, hey, honey, it's fine. And just go to work. All morning, your wife will be wet. Just because of what you did. There's a way. I kept asking, why is it that the men's libido? I didn't see it in the Bible. God is a perfect God. He knows what he's doing. That was why he made only one penis and only one vagina. And the two fits. And it works perfectly. Amen? The purpose of couples breakfast is to partner with you to build your marriage on a solid foundation. We don't have statistics in Nigeria, so I will not be able to give you Nigerian statistics. But statistics in America says that in 1920, 1 out of 7 marriages end in divorce. That means 86% of marriages, end up not divorcing. 1940, 1 out of 6. That's 83%. 1960, 1 out of 4. That's 75%. 1972, 1 out of 3. That's 66% good. 1985, 1 out of 2. 50-50. I don't have the statistics up till 2004. 14. So if 1985 is already 50-50, do you know what it will be like now? And before, we used to say that it happens to the unbelievers. How many people know Christians that are divorced? If you know anyone. Oh, you know. Me too, I know. That means it's not only happening to unbelievers, it's happening to who? Believers as well. So that is why we want to work together to see what we can do. And 2 things I see that can make our marriage to stand. Number 1, recognize God as the expert. Number 2, make a determination that you will not divorce. So if you make up your mind, this thing will never be separated, then the next thing is, let me go to the helper to fix it. What is the number 1? That God is the expert. God is not your culture, not your father. Because some of the things we learn from them are wrong. And then the second one is determined to make it permanent. So today I'm going to share the 5 major sexual needs of a man. There was a statistics, there was a survey, and different things were picked, and people were asked to say what is the most important thing to them. You'll be surprised to find out that men would rather not have sex with you if they're not sure that you're going to enjoy it. But contrary, a lot of women think that men are just animals and they just want to sleep with you anyhow. Sometimes out of pressure, they do that. But ordinarily, the first and most important thing that men say is their need sexually is mutual satisfaction. Every husband wants their wife to be satisfied by them sexually. A good sexual relationship is one in which both husband and wife experience mutual satisfaction. A man feels like a man when he can please his wife. When the wife says, when the wife sleeps like this and says, do it, what you are saying to the man is either you don't know what you're doing or I'm not interested in you. So for us SU women who think that the only way to Jerusalem is to lie flat like log of wood, this is saying to you you are indirectly pushing your husband where? Out. Mutual satisfaction is topmost on the list of men. I just want a woman that makes me feel I'm doing something. There's so much pressure out there. So one of the ways you say to your man, hey, you're in charge, is by saying, you have conquered me. So how do we make mutual satisfaction to come into our sex life? We're going to be discussing that. The second, another thing is this. How many people watch the superheroes, Spider-Man and all those Ben 10? Every man feels like a little superhero. So when you respond to your husband and he feels that he's able to satisfy you, he feels like a hero in the house. Number 2 is connection. So sex builds connection for a husband in the same way that talking, helping around the house build connection for a wife. Now, when I spoke about men should walk and be domesticated, it makes a woman feel that she's not a house help. It makes a woman feel that she's not a slave. And women are the problem of women. If you want to make moi, for instance, and your blender is not working, and you're trying to wash the leaves and something, and your husband offers to go and grind the pepper, the woman that she's grinding the pepper from is the one that will ask her, is your wife not at home? So that statement embarrasses the man. And the man feels, maybe it is not in my place. And so there's a dichotomy between male assignment and female assignment. Males wash cars and go to the mechanics, female, but no. How many times will you wash car a day? How many times will the car break down? We have to find a way somehow. Have you heard, there's a book I read about African marriages in diaspora. Yeah. That 9 out of 10 break up. Because when they get there, they have been able to overcome that role gender separation. So the African woman is like, hello, I'll be the one to do this, to go to the laundry, to go to the washerman, to do... They share everything in a way that is mutually acceptable to all. We need to start working on that. Can I hear amen? So the men love to be connected to. Now, for a man, you connect to him when you have sex with him. For a woman, you connect with her when you talk and you spend time with her. So how do we marry it? You have to find a way. Nothing makes men feel closer to their wives than being physically and emotionally connected. As the marriage grows in age, the raw sexuality and libido that comes naturally with our biological inheritance play a decreasing part in sexual intimacy. So there is need to connect on deeper level. But the way to connect is to make sure you have sex with your husband. When you have sex with him, he relaxes. Then you can talk deep talks. Someone said to me, but when he relaxes, he slips off. He slips off because he's done a great work. After like 5-10 minutes, wake him up. He's still in a vulnerable mood to discuss those special things. So connection is very, very important. The third thing is responsiveness. I said that although a wife typically needs tenderness before sex, a husband also needs a sexual release to experience tenderness. We always talk a lot about foreplay. But a man cannot be gentle until he has ejaculated. So you need to understand the chemistry or the makeup of the man. So it's now in a place, I'm saying this to the women because we are capable of doing so much. God has given us that grace. You want your husband to be tender? You want him to lie on your laps while you stroke his hair? Then you must be ready to sleep with him. Amen. And after that, that tenderness comes in. That's what I call responsiveness. The fourth thing, this one is a tough one, that makes a man feel like a man and enhances his sexual life and makes him feel like a superhero is initiation. How many wives will initiate sex with their husband? The normal thing, the regular thing is the man comes. And 6 out of 10 times we say what? No. Initiate once. Just even try, even if it's once a month, twice a month. If you are a shy person like me, you may not be able to say, come to the room. I'm a very shy person. Don't trust all these things you're saying. You understand? You may not be able to. But there are some things you can do or say that can make good suggestions. Change your underwear and wear pants and bra and high heels in the room. And just go and turn back. A man is enticed by what he sees. You can be creative, with little things. Put a perfume on your nightwear. Then you must have different degrees of underwears. Don't wear those ones that your grandmother wore. You don't need to buy designers. There are cheaper ones. Do you understand? Don't just tie the towel. Then stay clean. I learned that over the years. I was counseling a couple, and the husband confided in me that she smells. That by the time the man is trying to look up and go down, they smell. So I didn't know how to tell the wife what the husband said. So I now told her, when you want to sleep, do you just wash, And I said, we have been working on money. I'm tired. And it's gotten to the point the husband stopped sleeping with her. Like 6 months. Now the wife is getting a bit anxious that maybe he's sleeping with someone outside. But the man said, I'm not. But you see, she's so unclean down there. I said, okay. Get panty liners. Because when a woman goes to the toilet, even if you dab a little bit with tissue, sometimes a little drop still drops on your pants. Okay? If you have panty liner, the panty liner takes it. So that when you want to sleep, you take off the panty liner, and even if you're not able to have your bath, you're still not going to smell. Or you can get Femin. Okay? It's a good wash for the vagina if you know you smell. But if you can, always wash that part and brush your teeth in the night so that anything can happen. Can I hear amen? And we don't put ourselves, off. And for the men, brush your teeth. A foul smell can be very, very irritating. So initiate sex. I want to challenge the women. Do that once in a while, once in a month, once in 6 months. But say, this is my turn. And control the game in the bedroom. And say, no, I'm not going to stay down. You're staying down. I'm going to do the work. How many women are going to try? You can't be more SU than me. When I got married, I didn't know which way to go. For like 1 week, 2 weeks, I was just crying. That was when the doctor introduced lubricant. But that was because, in my mind, I was not relaxed. I read a lot. I found that it was not supposed to be painful. But there are strategies and techniques that make the connection to be perfect. Some of you men wonder, I have very large penis. No. It does not matter the length. And biologically, they have not seen anyone that is longer than in full erection that's even up to 9 inches. And a man does not need to go all the way down to make the woman enjoy it. The real fun for the woman is from the clitoris to the mouth of the vagina. So write what you do at the entrance. It's what actually gives woman satisfaction and takes her to orgasm. So you need to study how to make your wife enjoy you. And when you study and wait on her, she feels important. And finally, I said just 5 of the top things that are important to men. The final one is affirmation. If you want your husband to be all that God created him to be, you need to affirm him in every way possible. My husband was sharing a joke with me yesterday. He said another friend told him that men don't grow up from being boys. They only change their toys. You need to affirm your husband so that they can know how to relate and act properly. Because sometimes they don't get enough of that affirmation in the house. They think that things make them feel big.
We'll be delighted and greatly inspired to talk into the books written by Pst Funmi Johnson. Get the best-selling The Secret Black Book of Wealth by Funmi Johnson and start a journey into economic success. Must I Submit is another great book from Funmi Johnson with great insight into the man and wife question. And from Pst Johnson comes the classic Life Out of the Box, also available as an audiobook.
This telecast has been brought to you through the support of Chain TV Partners. For partnership, counseling and further inquiries, contact us at Chain TV, the Capstone Church Without Walls, 360 Murtala Mohammed Way, Yaba, Lagos. You can call us on telephone numbers 0802 318 2030 or 01893 8243. Or you can send an email to capstone_c@yahoo.com or helpdesk@thecapstoneonline.com. You can also visit our website at www.thecapstoneonline.com. Thank you for watching.
Capstone, church without walls.